Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
And here we go.
From the Hollywood foothills of North Carolina, welcome to episode 75 of the Confirmed Epic Podcast, the official podcast of theepicreview.com and proudly presented by the Geeks Worldwide Radio Network. I'm one of your hosts, the real Brad Bell, and joining me today, as always, is Andrew Stokes, also known as
Andrew Stokes.
Andrew, my friend, welcome back to the show, and what a epic show we have indeed, because Andrew, tell the listeners what our main topic is today.
We are going to be reviewing the epic Fern Gully from the mid-90s.
The inspiration for the classic known as Avatar. James Cameron's
classic
masterpiece. James Cameron adapted the script to one of the highest grossing movies of all time. No, what we're going to be doing today is a top 10 countdown. Andrew and I love to do these types of episodes.
I think people like listening to them, too.
I think they do, too. They're fun. And our top 10 countdown this time will be counting down our 10 most anticipated films of fall and winter 2017. So we're going to start with September as far as the months that are good here. And we're going to run through December. So anything September, October, November, December is fair game. And that should be a lot of fun.
Yep.
But before we get to that, let's go ahead and get the show started with what we've been checking out this week.
Checklist? Check. Double checking of checklist? Check.
Andrew Stokes, you actually checked something out that I'm very envious of.
Are
which was
Logan Lucky?
By director Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah.
How was it, Andrew?
Pretty good. If midway through the movie, I really wasn't sure how I was feeling about it. But by the end, it wrapped up nicely. It was an enjoyable film.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
Now,
I guess.
Starred Daniel Craig and Adam Driver and a whole bunch of other
Channing
folks.
Tatum, the main character.
Gambit, as he will be soon known as.
Oh yeah. I was going to the other Gambit.
Was Charlize Theron in this as well? Or was she not? I could have swore I saw her in one of the trailers. Maybe it was a cameo, maybe she wasn't in it. I don't know. You saw the film. I did not.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, this movie is about a heist that takes place in the Hollywood foothills of North Carolina at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yep.
I'm guessing it's on Coca-Cola 600. Race weekend, big weekend for this area. Memorial Day weekend every year. It's a tradition. We have race weeks. One week we have the All-Star race. And the next week, the longest race of the year, the Coke 600. I'm not a big NASCAR fan. I used to be, so I know a little bit about the sport. Yes, I do call it a sport because I live in the South. But is this one you would recommend people cap off their summer movie season with?
I don't know about that.
What did you not like about it? Because you seem to be not too hot on this film.
I don't want to give too much away. Obviously, like you said, it's a heist film. And in these heist films, things always go wrong. And I'm not gonna, whether or not they get away with the heist and that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna go into detail about. But it just there are parts of the heist that seemed too smart for the characters that they established. You know what I mean? They kind of spent some time establishing it. These maybe aren't the brightest tools in the shed. But they had some pretty good ideas, planned going into this heist or whatever. So
how was Adam Driver? I'm just curious because I've only seen him in Girls and Star Wars.
I enjoyed him. He was his character's pretty different and yet similar sometimes to Kylo Ren.
What?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He plays basically a war vet who just kind of like down on his luck, lost his not his arm, lost his hand in the war and stuff. I mean, obviously it's a comedy, you know what I mean? There's jokes and there's some of the characters are over the top and whatnot. Daniel Craig is probably the biggest departure from things I've seen him in.
His teeth marks on the film, as Jerry would say.
I suppose. I mean, he doesn't really chew scenery. I wouldn't say.
Man,
No.
I was hoping for that.
But I mean,
trailers.
Yeah, he's interesting. I mean, it was he like I said, he was probably the biggest departure for what I've seen him in. He's definitely not the James Bond type in this one.
Well, since we're probably never gonna review this film on the podcast, what would you rate it?
Good, I think.
Solid good. That's high praise coming from you, Andrew Stokes.
Oh, you're right. I'm gonna give it an
more than you gave Shin Godzilla. Are you really changing to an A?
No.
Okay. So you confirm Logan Lucky with a good. If you're a fan of Steven Soderbergh, which a lot of people are a fan of this director, go and check that out. It's in the theater now. As for me, I'm going to talk about something I don't usually talk about on this podcast. Video games.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this past weekend was Gamescom.
Yeah,
this is a big video game conference. I'm guessing, considering the name's Gamescom.
Yeah.
But is this second to E3, Andrew, or is this lower down the tier of gaming conventions?
No, I would say probably second to. There's another one I can't think of off the top of my head, but yeah.
Okay, so this is second to E3. Well, a big mystery for people who are fans of the gaming industry, follow it. Even me, not a big gamer, don't even own a console right now. I have been eagerly anticipating just to see when the Xbox One X, previously called Project Scorpio, when that was going to go up for pre-order, because I was thinking about pre-ordering one. And you know how these things are. If you don't pre-order, you're probably not getting one, especially in time for holiday. I don't know if that's how this is going to be, considering the price point.
Yeah, modern day consoles, it's a little maybe the initial launch, or maybe one of the limited edition. Switch is Nintendo though. They do that on purpose, man. Like they like their lower stock. You know what I mean?
They like to drive up the hype by driving up demand, I think.
Yeah.
I was in Best Buy 2 weeks ago. So the Switch came out March 3rd, because I remember that just because it came out on my birthday.
Yeah.
And I saw two of them. And that's the only time I've ever seen them in person at the store. Have you seen them at the store ever?
No, but I really don't go to many electronic stores or.
I probably go to Best Buy once every 2 weeks.
I can't remember the last time I've been to Best Buy.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's also a trip for me to go to Best Buy, and in 2017, you know, there has to be a reason for me to make that trip. You know what I mean?
Well, the place I get my hair cut, shout out to Fantastic Sam's, shout out to Keena who cuts my hair. It's right beside Best Buy, so sometimes there's a wait, and I'll just go in there and kill time. So
that makes sense. If I had a local Best Buy, I might head over there. But I don't even go to the electronic section of Walmart, really. I don't go there anymore.
I guess with Amazon Prime, it's kind of difficult to justify reason.
I just buy less physical media in general as well. Like even my games I'm downloading, Blu-rays are the main thing that I buy physical.
And the only reason I got back into it was the 4K Blu-rays.
Yeah.
However, I did pre-order the Xbox One X, pre-ordered it on BestBuy.com. I mean, you got up until 2 days before its release on November 7th to cancel it. I figured I'd pre-order it. And you know me, I'll probably change my mind tomorrow, but I would at least have it there if I wanted to, so I can just sit on it.
That's what I did with the Switch originally. Yeah.
Because it did sell out, pre-order sell out at BestBuy.com.
Yeah.
It did not at GameStop.
Okay.
And this is a Project Scorpio edition. Maybe that has something to do with it. I mean, it's not that much of a departure from what the reg version is going to be. It just says a little Project Scorpio on the console.
Okay. It's basically the day one edition.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So
still cool.
The only reason I really want this at all is, I don't have a gaming system. As far as 4K and HDR and all that stuff, this is the system that is supposed to be the most powerful under the hood and be able to take advantage of that type of TV the most.
Right.
And if I'm going to play Madden, I'm going to play NHL, I'm going to play Call of Duty, which is about all I would play, I'm trying to balance the thought process of, okay, do I want to spend this money, which is going to be a Christmas gift, but do I want to spend this money or have somebody spend this money on me to play 3 games?
You could also get that Planet of the Apes game.
Yeah. I probably would play that. Probably because that just wouldn't be a long game. And I just love that universe.
Yeah.
But Xbox One X Project Scorpio Edition. They're up for pre-order right now.
When's it come out?
November 7th, but
So
I'll probably have to wait to Christmas to get this. I mean, this is going to be like a Christmas gift for my grandmother, my mom and dad, and Abby. This is like a... And
you know what? I'll chip in $5 for it.
All right.
It's a Christmas gift for me too now.
Who knows if this is going to happen or not? I don't know. I'll be dead honest with you, Andrew, and the listeners. I've already been tempted to cancel it.
I was surprised that you pre-ordered to begin with.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised myself. It was kind of like an impulse pre-order.
Sure.
They went on pre-order that evening, I think, a Sunday of Gamescom.
Yeah.
But I woke up that morning, I saw it. I was like, well, I'll just go to Best Buy, and they had it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a risk-free type thing. I mean, that's the same thing with the Switch. I wasn't quite sold on it yet, but I'm like, I'm going to go pre-order it just in case. So, and now I'm desperately looking for one. Not really. I'm about to the point where I want one though. So, the Pokemon World Championships were this weekend as well. I'm sure you.
How'd you fare in that, Andrew?
I mean, I obviously wasn't there. I'm definitely not at that level. I don't play Pokemon competitively like that. But I don't know. I know
you watched it online because
did,
what were we doing? Oh, Abby and I were making our top 25 favorite movies of all time list.
We were both nerding out this week.
And I shot Andrew a text and told him we were doing that like Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then Andrew's making fun of me. He's like, I can't really make fun of you because I'm watching Pokemon World Championships right now.
But it's fun. It's weird because I'm not really into watching esports and stuff. But for some reason, I don't know if it's because I play the games Pokemon, which is a turn-based game. You think it'd be pretty boring. I don't know. I find it exciting. So, and they got rid of I don't know. You really don't care, but they got rid of legendaries after allowing them for the last like year or two. So that's the format I prefer.
Indulge yourself, because when I talk about comics, you don't care, and I still talk about it.
Yeah.
But I will say this with comics, just on a side note.
Okay.
I've canceled all my monthly pulls.
All right, we'll see how long that lasts.
Now, I'm going to be reading trades now, and I have a philosophy.
You've done this before, though, have you not?
I have, but it's been a while since I've done it. Here's my plan.
All right.
Is to buy at the end of each month when I get paid, as opposed to spending $75 to $110, which is what my comics cost last month on individual issues, is to buy one Marvel graphic novel, one DC graphic novel, and maybe one like image trade.
Sure.
And I can do that for like $30.
Okay.
And I'm getting more complete stories. So I think I'm going the Barbecue 17 route of if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Because Jerry was a big monthly pulls guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think even before they had Allie, he kind of had going toward trades a little bit, though.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, there was a point he was buying single issues and I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Get Out for a second, because I feel that it was so good that we need to talk about it. It came out in January. Those of you that don't know, you probably know.
That really that long?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I saw it in theaters till March.
Oh, wow.
So it must have had some shelf life there.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it did come out in March. I don't know. We can double check that.
No, it had definitely been out for a while. It was the good reviews that brought me to see it. Because I felt like
99%.
I felt like I had the trailer had shown me everything. Like, it was one of those, I'll check it out when it comes on Netflix or DVD, but I feel like the trailer's already shown me everything. But man, it got such good reviews. I'm like, all right, I have to go check this out. And I'm glad I did. I
checked it out. I ordered it on demand, DirecTV, $6. Mm-hmm. It was well worth every penny of that $6. Mm-hmm. Directed by Jordan Peele. This is his directorial debut.
He wrote it too, right?
Yeah, and it's not what you tell me Jordan Peele's directing a horror movie, I'm like, okay, what's this scary movie reboot?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is it's almost hard to classify as horror. It's a
thriller.
It's a thriller, it's a psychological thriller. It does have horror elements and whatnot, not to the point to where it ever feels too tropish.
Right.
I'll tell you, one of the things that stuck out to me is Allison Williams is in this movie, who's on Girls. She plays Marnie. Marnie's the biggest bee in any show I've ever seen. I've never hated a fictional character, probably as much as her.
Not even Joffrey.
Oh man, you think how bad Joffrey was, right?
Maybe Book Joffrey's just that much worse because I hate Book Joffrey.
She's close to Joffrey. Maybe if I was making a list, I mean, maybe I would think about it and she would be knocked down to 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But if you were saying as far as comparing her to Joffrey from the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones, I would have put Joffrey probably 1A and her 1B. And it's a different
emphasis on the B.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a different type of she's a different type of screwed up than Joffrey is.
Okay.
She's just the most. I won't get into that character on Girls. You can
right.
watch. I love that show, but I hate that character. Check that out if you have HBO. You can go back and watch all the old episodes.
Okay, but Get Out.
Get Out. Back to Get Out. So I found it funny that I guess mild spoilers for Get Out here for the next 3 minutes or so. If you want to skip ahead, that she ended up being this conniving bee in this movie. I thought that fit her perfectly. Bradley Whitford's in this movie. He's from West Wing. He is Josh Lyman. Is one of my favorite fictional characters of all time.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was going to be this liberal type of guy in this, and he absolutely was not. That was
he was liberal in some ways.
Very misleading. Yeah. I'm not going to give away the premise, but how the unique premise blends so many elements of suspense and horror together to make this commentary on race in modern America.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't call it I may call it a masterpiece, dude.
It was good.
Like, I mean, this, Baby Driver, and War for the Planet of the Apes are my 3 favorite movies of the year.
Not Wonder Woman?
I'll go ahead and tell you my top 3 of the year so far. I mean, we'll rank them at the end of the year, so this is probably going to change. Well, Fall and Winter is usually dead, but you'll find out this year that is not the case. I'd probably go War for the Planet of the Apes, number 1.
Okay.
Get Out, 2. Baby Driver, 3.
Yeah.
So we're making that top 25 list the other night. I'm not going to give that away because I want us to do that one day.
Yeah.
But War for the Planet of the Apes and Dawn, I ranked War above Dawn. I won't tell you where. We're both in my top 25 favorite movies of all time.
1 and 2.
No.
2 and 3 after Dark Knight.
No, they were in the late teens, 20s. But
okay.
It beat out Ghostbusters on there.
Okay.
And I'm not a Ghostbusters fan like Jerry.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up really liking real Ghostbusters and rewatching Ghostbusters a lot, but Get Out, confirmed epic film.
One thing, there's like one character in Get Out that's like basically a comedic relief character, which sounds like a horrible idea in a movie like this, but like he mixed comedy and horror very well. It never really felt out of place. It was like, okay, you laughed and then you moved on back to being, anxious about what's going on.
They fleshed out every character really well.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. The brother of Allison Williams in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this actor other places.
Yeah.
Would that guy not make the perfect Joker?
Yeah, I could see
God,
that.
he would be a good Joker. Now, take this for a grain of salt. When I saw, or with a grain of salt, that's how the old cliche goes. But when I saw Dallas Buyers Club with Jared Leto, when he played the trans, I was like, is that not politically correct?
It didn't sound.
I didn't mean that to be politically incorrect.
Sure.
I mean, he played a trans individual, a transgender individual.
Yeah.
So,
but you thought he made a good Joker?
I thought at the time, like, man, the way he transformed, I hadn't really seen anything like this since Heath Ledger. He'd make a good Joker, and whether he's a good Joker or not, it's debatable. It's very debatable. And I don't know if all the tattoos and the kind of the feel of him was necessarily his choice either.
Sure.
But we're going to talk a little Joker later on. So, Andrew, there's something that we both checked out.
Yeah, a lot of people checked out. You probably checked it out if you're listening to this podcast.
I'm blind right now because of this event, but it was the solar eclipse. Mm-hmm. Now, you have a much more interesting story than me.
Do I?
I imagine so.
Okay.
here's what happened with me, because your story is better.
Okay.
We had to go back to work. We had teacher work days. Science teacher had some of those glasses. She had like 20 pairs of these glasses
Okay.
that were apparently kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
And, we stood out there.
Yeah, they were for some people very hard to find.
We stood out there for about an hour as it began to happen between like 2 Eastern and 2:48, 47 Eastern Standard Time. And we got 98%. I know some places in South Carolina got total.
Yeah.
And I know Abby's sister Holden, who goes to USC, University of South Carolina, they had the full there.
Okay.
So tell us your story.
Yeah. So I went down to South Carolina with some of the family. We went down to Waterloo, South Carolina.
Is that near Greenville?
It's near it's right near Lawrence, South Carolina. Feels like almost like the same town. They're so close. You know what I mean? As somebody not from the area.
Kind of like Shelby Kings Mountain.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which feel like nobody knows that reference who's listening to this except for one local listener. Thank you, Mom.
So we went down to the totality. Went down a little bit early. Took some back roads. We were worried about the interstate being too crowded. It didn't seem when we passed over it a couple times. Didn't seem too crowded on the way down there. It got back on the way back. Yeah, but I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Tell your story, man.
So we took some backcountry roads. Right when we were about to where we were gonna stop to see the eclipse, we stopped at a McDonald's because I wanted some caffeine.
You wanted the Mick Eclipse burger. That was a special.
Denny's had mooncakes. I don't know if you saw that. They were just pancakes. And they just call them mooncakes.
They were melted moon pies
but
in a microwave.
No, it was just pancakes, but that was kind of the joke. They were like, yeah, they're just pancakes, but don't they kind of look like the moon? It was like a tongue-in-cheek thing. But anyway, we stopped at the McDonald's, and man, they were license plates from from Virginia and Georgia and stuff. But there was like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Florida. I saw 2, and this was a little confusing. I saw 2 Oregon license plates.
Didn't they have a really good view in Oregon?
Yeah.
Was it better than they had in South Carolina?
I mean, it was totality. I mean, okay. I don't know what the weather was like. So they must have been down here for something else. You know what I mean? Like, why would they come down here just for something they could witness at home?
Abby hit that traffic on the way home because she worked that day, coming on 85 north back home. And she saw license plates, like you said, from all over. And she saw like an Oregon license plate.
Yeah.
I remember her telling me that. Yeah. I thought, wait, didn't they get a really good view there? Maybe it rains all the time in Oregon. Maybe they were afraid and they just didn't want to take the risk.
Well, but still, I mean, again, there's the entire line across the country they could have gone to, and it's not like they flew down here; they drove, so they could have stopped in like Utah or Colorado. I don't know where else it was totality. But anyway, got down there, we got to see totality, and man, that was a really cool experience. I'm sure you said you got 98% here.
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't believe the difference compared to the videos I saw and one that my sister-in-law sent me.
Yeah.
That the 2% makes.
I mean, it's like it's not night, but it's basically during the totality. It's the weirdest thing. It feels at first it feels like like some sort of like sci-fi film. Because the sun is just disappearing. Like, you can tell something's moving in front of the sun.
This is how Heroes started, guys.
It felt like a freaking Death Star or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like you can tell, it's not getting dark outside. Something is moving in front of the sun. And then when it hits totality, like, one, not only can you look at it with your bare eyes, which is cool, and it does look like the eclipse off of like Heroes or something, but it's
Part 4 of Green with the Evil miniseries, eclipsing Megazord.
Yeah, just like that. And and it's cool because like the horizon, like it's still like somewhat daylight. It almost looks like the sun is either rising or setting, but in every direction. Like it's just
360
it's like
crazy.
So like the sky is pretty dark. We could see a few stars in the sky. but then like the horizon on north, south, east, and west, it looks like a sunset.
Where were y'all actually watching?
We were in a pretty big field.
Okay.
We were off some back road highway. We were at this Baptist church. They had a big field, a big parking lot.
Coming.
Yeah, so we went to church. Now there was also an ABC store across the street, and we had some time to kill, so I may have head over there for.
Gosh.
Well, I had a Diet Coke. I needed something to put in there. All right. I'm an adult, for God's sakes.
It was so hot. God, it was hot.
It was hot. I think I have gotten a sunglass tan from that day.
It has cooled down here in the Hollywood foothills in North Carolina, but it had been like the humidity.
Yeah, it was pretty hot there.
Chart, man.
But the cool thing too, and this is something you probably experienced with 98%, it's just as it was getting dark, like all the bugs start coming out, and the crickets start.
How eerie was that?
I know, it's so weird, but it's cool.
But and the lights start. So we were at school. We were outside, and those automatic lights
come on. Yeah.
Which I only ever see come on at school.
Yeah.
Like when I'm staying for a parent-teacher conference or
right.
orientation, because that's the only time I'm there when it's that dark out.
Yeah.
And that was really weird, man.
Yeah, and it's just cool, like when it kind of hits the apex there, especially when we were in totality, like everything stops. There's no cars on the road. Everybody's it's like this weird like shared experience that's just so cool. Oh, there was a lot of clapping. Oh, there was a lot of clapping and cheering.
Were they clapping for Trump or God, or who were they clapping for?
They were clapping
Science?
for Mother Earth, I guess. I don't know, Mother Moon.
Gully? Okay.
So the ride back, when we went to leave after this, we watched the totality. Watched before that.
Okay.
Parents' car doesn't start.
Oh.
We're there for like.
Don't they have a newer car?
I mean, it's probably almost 10 years old now.
I just remember when we used to hang out. They had that old Montana van.
Oh yeah, they've upgraded since then.
I knew they didn't have that.
Right. So basically, so we had to wait probably an extra hour while somebody came out, helped out with the car real quick. My dad just needed a little part or whatever.
I thought you had a solar car and it just didn't start.
Yeah, right. The guy was really cool though. Basically just charged us for the parts. Which is what he wanted to do.
It was the Eclipse special.
I guess my dad gave him a little bit more than that. But I mean that was just really cool. And then we're finally heading home. We're on 85 for a little while, heading north. Yeah. And I get like an alert on my phone. Okay, there's some traffic up ahead. That's me. Figure I look at it on like the Google Maps. I'm like, oh, we gotta get off this.
Yeah.
I showed it to him,
and
was
your dad driving?
He was driving, okay. Yeah. So we got off, started taking back highways again. We crossed 85 around Spartanburg, I believe it was, and it was just like dead stopped.
Man, I heard it was like when the eclipse hit.
Yeah.
People that were on 85, I guess people didn't get to their. Some people just inevitably got caught up in it. Didn't care about the eclipse, but you soulless people.
Yeah, we call them communists.
Yeah, but when it came to a standstill, the eclipse
during the eclipse,
people started getting out of their car and looking up at the eclipse on the interstate.
And if they're pulled over, I guess, but I mean,
no, they were stopped in the interstate.
No, they weren't.
It was like a parking lot on 85.
That's so dang! I can't believe people would do that.
No, but it's like, okay, have you ever been?
If it's already standstill,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But if it's already a standstill, I'm picturing people just like stopping.
No, they're not
like some sort of like Independence Day scene or something.
That's what this was. That's what I thought of. I was like, this is like Armageddon Independence Day.
I gotta
when the meteors and stuff start coming.
I gotta check out like video of this or something.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there. This is what somebody said.
Sure, yeah, you were at work.
Yeah, I mean, this was somebody who had a family or something that was on the highway and got a text and said it was a standstill. People are getting out of their cars.
That's funny.
So take it for what it's worth. Yeah, but that was a cool experience. When's the next one?
2024?
2024, yeah. And apparently, I mean, if the weather's good, we should have a good shot to see the same type of...
we won't get 98% here, I don't believe, but...
really?
Yeah, because it's going up through... It's starting in Texas and going up through, like, New England or something.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Just an excuse for me to go visit family up north.
Good going for them, the 5 Super Bowl championships.
Well, there's one place where it's like basically making an X across the country. So there's one place that got totality this time, and it's getting totality again.
That's cool.
Yeah, not one. I mean, when I say one place, it's a pretty large radius, but because I think totality has like a 70-mile range or something like that. So,
well, let's go ahead and get out of what we've been checking out toward epic news this week. More Star Wars, more superheroes and epic news this week, and more Game of Thrones. Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Same old, but some interesting stuff has developed.
Hashtag interesting.
Interesting.
All right.
Let's start with something that actually broke while we were recording last week, and we really just couldn't research it because we were so dedicated to that Shin Godzilla review in last episode of the podcast. So, the next Star Wars spin-off film, most likely for a 2020 release, is going to be the long-rumored Obi-Wan film. It's going to be directed by Stephen Dardley. I'm not too familiar with his work. His most famous film is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. Was nominated for Best Picture, had Tom Hanks in it, had the kid from The Road in it. Was about a young child dealing with the loss of his father on 9/11. It's a very serious film. So, no word here if Ewan McGregor will return to play Obi-Wan. Based on past comments, he's really expressed interest. So, I think if they ask him to come back, he will come back. So, I got two thoughts on this.
All right.
If Ewan McGregor comes back, I'm excited. I love his take on Obi-Wan. I loved as he matured, as the character grew up in the prequels. That was one of the best parts of the prequels. It's not saying much, but still. It was hard to follow in the footsteps of somebody like Alec Guinness. That's just such an epic and classic portrayal of a beloved character of fiction. So that has me excited. That's my positive takeaway from this. My negative takeaway is we have 3 anthology films so far by the time this comes out. Yeah. Rogue One, Han Solo, and this. And I think I may have mentioned this on the podcast last week. Didn't talk too much about it. These are all prequels to stories we already know how they end. Like, we know how Obi-Wan's journey ends. We know how Han Solo's journey ends. We knew what was going to happen at the end of Rogue One. Now, that didn't mean the journey wasn't fun.
Sure.
I would just like to see some stuff sit in maybe the Old Republic. I know you can't go too far in the future just because we're telling the episode 7, 8, 9 right now. So, Andrew, how do you feel about all this?
This is kind of what I came to expect from these Star Wars things. I mean, and this has been rumored for a while, and we still have like a Yoda movie rumored and a Boba Fett movie
were rumored for a long time too.
So yeah, it's you know what, I think not Han Solo, Obi-Wan. I think I'm more excited about that idea than the Han Solo origin film.
I am too.
Because like Han Solo, I was like, I don't need anything else from Han Solo. Like, where he picks up in A New Hope is where we should pick him up. But Obi-Wan, like, we have him in the prequel, we have him in the original, so something in the middle there, you know, could be interesting. Because I'm assuming when you leave Episode 3, it's like, okay, I guess he just lives on Tatooine until Luke grows up. You know what I mean? It's like he's got to be doing something else. You know what I mean?
And that leads me to 2 Obi-Wan stories, one that's canon, one that's not now. There was a book in the EU, which is not canon any longer, called Kenobi, and it was basically like a Western on Tatooine. Yeah. And it was the in-between of Episode 3 and the beginning of A New Hope. Yeah. So that was a really good book by all accounts. I have not read it. It's not a long book. It's one I've always wanted to check out.
I just hope...
Go ahead.
I don't want to see him involved. I don't think. Maybe this is just personal preference, but like in the Rebel Alliance, like I still want him to be like a hermit kind of, and doing his own thing. I don't want him hanging out with like Mon Mothma and you know what I mean. Like,
he's a huge part of Rebel Season 3.
Oh, is he?
The finale of Rebel Season 3 is a good close to a classic Obi-Wan arc. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. And in the comic books, the Star Wars comics, at the end of each arc, they do a one-shot checking in on Obi-Wan.
This is the one that takes place between New Hope and Empire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but these flash back, though. So these,
well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Okay, so Obviously, yeah. Alright, he's just a Force ghost the whole time, just hanging out, waiting on other people to die, just playing
pranking Yoda on Dagobah.
Yeah, so we've had 2 in-canon things with Rebels and this comic that have touched on that, and they've both been well done. I get that that's not a movie, and this will be something in its own right, but I know none of this stuff is a necessity.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a Yoda movie. I think with that character, less is more. Boba Fett, I would have not wanted to see a movie before the prequels. Now I kind of want to see more Boba Fett. Like, if Boba Fett would have just remained this mysterious character, I've been like, leave him that way.
Yeah.
The prequels at least alluded to him not being that, and on in
Clone Wars.
You get a lot, not a lot, but you get a pretty good chunk of a young Boba Fett.
Yeah. So
I would like to see more of an adult Boba Fett before we see him in Empire. I think that could be cool.
I know Barbecue 17's like dream scenario is like a Boba Fett movie opens with Boba Fett from like Clone Wars or whatever, and he's killed. And somebody like takes his Boba Fett isn't really Boba Fett or something like that.
That's a dream of a lot of Star Wars fans.
I don't have a problem really with Boba Fett from the prequel, like whatever.
I don't either. We won't get into it.
There's a lot of issues with the prequel trilogy. I think Boba Fett's not one of the biggest ones.
He's the least of my worries from that prequel trilogy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Yoda, I feel like we've already gotten too much from the prequels as well, you know?
And Clone Wars.
And in Clone Wars.
He's in Clone Wars a ton.
Yeah, so it's like, Yoda, I agree. Like, at the same time, like, there's a lot for Yoda to do. Like, he's, hundreds of years old?
Yeah.
But, like, yeah.
600 years
but
old.
I'm kind of done with Yoda. Like, okay, we got Yoda.
I'd rather see a Zordon movie where we find out how he gets put in the time warp than a Yoda movie.
I suppose.
All right, let's move on to DCEU or non-DCEU. I don't even know how I want to tackle this. Let's
just play a farting sound effect and move on.
Let's start with this whole thing of in canon versus out of canon. So let's start with what's supposed to be in canon of the DCEU first.
Okay.
We just got word last night of a Joker and Harley Quinn love story type movie. That's gonna be directed by the guy that brought us Crazy Stupid Love. I could not pronounce his name, so I didn't even put it in the show notes.
Okay,
I apologize for that. Better than butchering the name. And it will star Leto as Joker, and it will star Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I guess this is a prequel to the first Suicide Squad, or an in-between movie between Suicide Squad 1 and 2. They said this movie is getting a fast track at Warner's.
Yeah.
And not only that, Suicide Squad 2 will follow shortly after, and it's getting a fast track.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your within DCEU. So I'm going to throw all this out there, and then I'll get your response, Andrew.
Okay.
They're also making, this is the one that really interested me, a Joker origin story film, which I don't want to see a Joker origin story, but Martin Scorsese's involved.
Yeah, producing it.
He is going to produce this. He's going to be a hands-on producer. This isn't going to be him producing in name only. Todd Phillips, who directed The Hangover, is going to be helming this film. Jared Leto is not playing the Joker, and it's separate from the DCEU.
Okay.
Speaking of separate from the DCEU,
who's writing it? There was a writer attached too, I think.
No, I don't have that here in my show notes.
There was a writer that I forget. I'll try to look it up, but he seemed more in tune with the Scorsese than Todd Phillips as director.
Okay. Also, Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy has been confirmed not to be in the DCEU. So, despite what Ben
confirmed,
confirmed is. A lot of inside sources. There's a website, and I'm quoting this from slashfilm.com. This didn't come originally from Slashfilm.
Yeah.
It's called Batman Film News. Now, I know that sounds like the most bullshit site, only second to the epicreview.com.
Yeah.
But they've apparently been spot on for most of these big Batman rumors.
Okay.
Throughout, from when the internet started with Schumacher rumors.
Yeah.
To now. All the way through Nolan, Ben Affleck movies.
It's not really I feel like it's not confirmed, but it's also not a rumor. Like Matt Reeves, like is quoted.
Matt Reeves has gone on record. I don't have the exact quote in front of me.
Yeah.
Of saying that Warner Brothers has told him that his Batman movie isn't in the DCEU.
He said, but when they approached me, talking about Warner Brothers, but when they approached me, what they said was, look, it's a standalone. This isn't a part of the extended universe.
Okay, so I mean, how much more confirmed can you get than that?
Sure, but it's also worth noting that this information is actually not new. It's from like back in July. It's just kind of coming to light. He did a podcast. Matt Reeves did a podcast back in July.
But it's just now being revealed publicly.
Well, again, the podcast has been out. It's just kind of become popularized. Somebody, I guess it was, I'm not sure what podcast it was, but it just, for whatever reason, the July 17th podcast, The Business.
He was on Empire Film Magazine's podcast. He didn't mention this, but go ahead.
Yeah, so it's been out for a while, and people have just kind of picked it up. For some reason, people are just now noting it, or it's gaining traction. But this is all before, he said this before San Diego Comic-Con, where the Batman, is listed as one of these DC, universe films, or at least on their slate of DC films. So
we also should mention that Gotham City Sirens got pushed back
because of the whole
and I'm also going to tell you right now that Jesse Eisenberg has been completely cut out of Justice League.
Yeah.
Which makes the ending of Batman versus Superman even worse than it already
I don't think I even knew he was in Justice League, honestly. So
he was, because he was going to play a big job, a big part of
apparently not
Dark Side
to
this universe.
Yeah, Steppenwolf
was going to be the first contact, if you will, for Apocalypse. They've cut Darkseid out of the movie completely. So we'll have the Justice League fighting a glorified henchman for 2 hours.
Yes.
And no Lex Luthor.
They may fight each other at some point, too. I mean, so it's a superhero team-up film.
So this Ben Affleck gets us back to something I feel like we talk about at least every other week. Will Ben Affleck keep playing Batman?
Yeah.
I've always said with this kind of stuff where there's smoke, there's fire, I think he's done. I think he's going to do the Justice League press tour, play nice, and then it's going to be announced that this is done with him.
Yeah.
How can he be Matt Reeves' Batman, but he's already been established as the DC Entertainment Universe. DCE.
Extended universe. It's Entertainment Universe?
At one point, I know it was Entertainment. They may have changed it.
I thought it was DC Extended Universe.
DC Extended Universe.
I don't know.
DCE. That's all you need to know.
The European Union.
How can he be their Batman and a Batman out of canon?
If Ben Affleck is Batman in The Batman, then it has to be in universe. Yeah.
And it also leads you to think, and we talked about this on our San Diego Comic-Con episode, what's Flashpoint going to play in all this?
It's going to take all these loose threads and tangle them together to make even less sense.
I agree. That could probably happen. And I've pitched this to you a couple times. I think that DC should just focus on trilogies.
Yeah.
Let's do a James Wan Aquaman trilogy, a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman trilogy, and a Matt Reeves Batman trilogy.
Which I'm excited about the premise of that.
And you know what? I would even be game. I know a lot of people may not like this, but even if you scrapped all this DCEU crap, if you let Zack Snyder come back and make a Superman 2 and 3, if that's something he wanted to do. I know that may be confusing to some people.
Yeah.
But I would be in favor of that.
I don't know about that, Brad.
Okay. All right. Like I said, I knew that would come with some controversy. Now,
so it's just,
what the hell is going on here?
You think the easiest part is making this extended universe.
That's not the easiest part. That's the hardest part. They can't figure this out.
No, I think the hardest part is actually making good movies.
Yeah.
But planning out
Universal.
They had no plan.
They've had plans. But as the Joker said, you have plans. I'm a guy without no plans.
Yeah.
DC apparently is a studio without any plans.
There's multiple Jokers.
I remember,
running DC EU right now.
And which is crazy because in the comics, this is what's so weird. In DC Rebirth now, there's 3 Jokers.
Really?
Yeah. And I know this is not going that way. Now, this is a rumor, so I'm not spoiling comics for anybody here. In fact, you'll probably find it out before me since I'm gonna be reading traits. One of the so you apparently you're gonna have the new 52 Joker,
Yeah.
the original Joker,
Mm-hmm.
and the comedian was a Joker.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's the rumor. We'll see if that happens because they're bringing the Watchmen in with that whole Doomsday Clock. But it seems like comics-wise, they got their stuff figured out. CWTV-wise, you can say it's not good, it's soap opera, bull crap, and it may be, but they're doing okay over there. I mean, a lot of people are watching these shows.
Yeah.
But this,
I mean, they're making money.
A mess.
They're making money though. People are still watching these DCEU films as of
Batman
now.
vs Superman had a huge opening weekend, and the drop off was 75%.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
2 movies that's made money for them, really, are Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So how many have there been? There was
Man of Steel. There's
BVS,
4 of them. BVS, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman.
The first 2 underwhelmed. I guess the last 2 have done well for them.
But they still did well though.
Man of Steel did pretty good for Superman expectations because it's just not the same level as Batman. But that drop off for BVS was like freaking historic.
Yeah.
I remember the bottom. I mean, you're always going to have a drop off, but it came out at like the beginning of March.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, this movie's going to have the whole month. And that, albeit March is much more competitive than it used to be.
But it wasn't that
still, they need to get rid of the DCEU.
What do you think? I mean, I imagine Justice League is still going to perform, though. It's Justice League, you know?
I think it's going to perform in the same way that BVS did. It's going to have a big opening weekend because everybody's going to come out and be like, all right, it's Justice League.
All us little fanboys are going to run to the theater.
Woman. Let's give it one more chance. We waited our whole life for a Justice League movie. Then everybody's going to hit social media. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to tell their fans. Because people like us, we're going to go see it, right?
Yeah, shills, we call ourselves.
Are the people that we would tell to go see it, are we going to tell them to go? Like, am I going to tell my mom and dad, go see Justice League, or make sure you watch it?
Yeah.
Or are you going to tell your dad to go see it? Your dad might go see it. I don't know.
I'll tell him to go see it with me the first time so I don't have to go see it again.
There's one thing that makes me excited here. I almost said 2. That'd be giving DC too much credit. I'm excited that Matt Reeves is getting to do, if this happens, that Matt Reeves is getting his own Batman trilogy with his own Batman, very similar to what Nolan had. Not in tone. I don't know what the tone will be. I mean, he's just getting that.
He's supposedly working on a detective Batman film,
I heard a rumor it's going to be more of like a noir.
Exactly. Type,
Batman film, which will be cool.
Yeah.
Will be really cool to be something different.
Yeah.
And Matt Reeves, after Planet of the Apes, I mean, we've talked about how much we love that trilogy. I mean, I'm excited. The origin story intrigues me of Joker. Just cause Scorsese's involved.
Yeah.
Because Scorsese, although he did direct Hugo.
Mm-hmm. Masterpiece,
which was a critically acclaimed Best Picture nominated film that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Scorsese, I can make fun of Hugo, but I can realize it was a good movie. It just wasn't for me.
Right.
He doesn't associate himself with projects that he thinks are horseshit. I mean, this is he's one of the studio guys at Warner Brothers who's been there forever. Yeah. I mean, I think Taxi Driver was Warner Brothers. I know Goodfellas was. So you're talking, he's been there decades, man.
Yeah.
And if he's going to get involved, something has sold him on this movie. I don't know if it's the pitch by Todd Phillips. I don't know if it's the script. I don't know if they got a rumored casting for Joker. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, Joker typically, I feel like in a lot of his origins has this like gangster criminal underworld bent to him. You know what I mean? So, and that definitely seems like kind of up Scorsese's up his alley.
I would like to see a movie of the Joker upending the mob, but that happened in The Dark Knight. I guess this will be more realistic than that.
Well, but it's also pre-Joker, so it's like, he's probably some, crook, or you know what I mean. I can't imagine he's
Mask of the Phantasm kind of.
Right? Yeah, I can't imagine he's high up in the mob. He's just probably a pawn or somebody.
Yeah, I think that could go somewhere pretty interesting. The other stuff I could care less about. Suicide Squad 2, I'll go see it. Hell, I may just wait for home video.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the trailer looks like. I don't have.
This Harley Joker origin story, I was more interested to see sirens than that.
Absolutely.
So I'm kind of bummed out. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll probably go
People
see
love them though. Like you said, Suicide Squad was one of their bigger movies. People love
Harley so popular. Margot Robbie was good as that character.
Sure, but no, but I mean, people. There's a lot of fans for both Harley Quinn and the Joker.
I mean, I'm a huge Joker fan. That don't mean I'm just gonna go see it if it's just trash, though.
But some people will. Some people love these.
And at one point, I was one of those people. But as I've gotten older,
Yeah.
and
Time becomes
yeah,
more valuable.
you get free time. It's like, okay, I can do something that I know is gonna be rewarding.
Like watch The Defenders.
No, I can read some comics. I can go hiking with my wife, which I hate hiking, but you know that would be more rewarding than watching this. I know that. All right. Speaking of my wife, something that she loves and I love is Game of Thrones. So
Okay.
here is the rumor regarding a potential season 8 release date. It is season 8, which will be 6 episodes. All of them are supposed to be well over an hour. They're filming from October 2017 to April 2018. That's all before, of course, they will enter post-production. This means the earliest we will probably see the final season of Game of Thrones is September 2018. That's what HBO is kind of hinting at. We probably won't. I would like to see it in the summer again, just because this has been one of the best summer movie seasons we ever had. But what's everybody talking about? Game of Thrones.
Yep.
For better or for worse.
Yep.
This last episode was really polarizing. But what I just told you about fall 2018, that's the logical. Oh, okay, based on filming, post-production. Yeah, that makes sense. Hold it for the fall season. But there's a rumor that they're going to hold those final 6 episodes for the spring or summer of 2019. Just because they know that's Game of Thrones is going to perform no matter where it's coming out. It's going to trounce everything else.
Yeah.
People have HBO subscriptions just for that. But if it's ready in September 2018, that's kind of an unknown for Game of Thrones. They know how the show does in the spring. They know how the show does in the summer. I guess the positive of this is that people like you could at least read Winds of Winter.
Yeah.
There's a rumor, I know we've heard these a lot, that book, the next to last book in the George R.R. Martin Game of Thrones series, there's A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Is going to be coming out this October.
Yeah.
Well, I
this
think
October?
That's the rumor.
Oh my goodness.
I don't believe it. I don't believe
my
the rumor.
goodness.
Okay. But let's say
don't play with my heart.
Let's say it's October 2018.
Okay, yeah.
And this comes out summer 2019, like
Yeah.
this rumor circulating is saying.
Yeah.
This could be a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Or it could be a bad thing. Here would be the good part.
All right.
You get to read Winds of Winter. First of all, Winds of Winter gets to come out. And not only that, the fever pitch for this thing could be at an unprecedented level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides that, though,
that's something I'll pre-order.
Another way I'm looking at this, Andrew, is does the hype of Game of Thrones die down when it's out of the zeitgeist for that long? What's your opinion? I'm just interested. I know you read the books, you haven't watched the show.
The books, if the book doesn't come out till next year, and they push it back for that, I mean, the hype, there's going to be a lot of hype.
Yeah, I think it could work if, okay, so it's 2017
I hope it
now.
doesn't take that long. But
So we got season 7 right now.
Yeah.
Last episode's coming on this Sunday. It's going to be an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then 2018, you get Winds of Winter.
Okay.
Then 2019, you get the final season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 years of massive Game of Thrones drops.
So by the time Winds of Winter comes out, the TV show's already going to be ahead of that anyway.
Well, it is ahead of it.
Already ahead of Winds of Winter.
The season finale of season 6 was Winds of Winter. So that took stuff that was going to be big.
But there was stuff, if I remember correctly, I try to avoid, but I'm pretty sure there was stuff in there that happened in the 5th book, though. So.
Yeah, there was.
So,
it's kind of all mixed and mashed.
Well, George R.R. Martin just came out recently and said there's like 20 or about 20 characters, I think, that are dead in the TV show that are alive and well in the book. There's one big one I can think of. One spoiler I don't want to get into. It was somebody that died, I think, last season that I'm like, that's interesting. So, but yeah, apparently there's like 20 some odd characters. I'm interested also in what characters are not alive in the book that are doing stuff in the show.
Too. Because when I initially heard this story of Wise and Benioff that's the showrunners for Game of Thrones, meeting with George R.R. Martin, he told them how it ends.
Yeah.
It seemed like, okay, they're adapting his ending. But now it seems like he's saying, my ending's going to be different.
Well, I'm sure it could also have changed since then.
Yeah.
Because knowing how he is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he's had a general idea in mind this whole time. But I'm sure a lot of things have changed, and he's gone different ways with different characters than he probably was planning on.
He's also saying he doesn't write slower. It's just the anticipation for this book is unlike any of the other books, that it feels that way. It took him, what was the last one, A Dance with Dragons? It took him 5 years to write that book. It's almost coming up on 5 years between Dance of Dragons and now.
And Dance of Dragons was a big book. So. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I want to ask you a quick question about Game of Thrones. So, Joe Roberts has read all the books, friend of mine, co-worker, friend of the show. And there was an intense, this isn't this last episode, a couple episodes ago, there was a big scene involving Daenerys and her dragons. I'll leave it at that. And he said that George R.R. Martin should get all the credit for that story beat.
Okay.
And my thing was, okay, George R.R. Martin told him this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But they adapted that and they set up the shots. Okay, so there's a scene here. There's a part where they have a camera that's like on an NFL field, you know, like a zipline camera on Monday Night Football. So there's a character who uses a certain device and they pan behind this character zipping the camera.
Okay.
That was my point to him was that wasn't George R.R. Martin. Okay?
Sure.
So they deserve a lot of credit for this season of Game of Thrones, but guess what? They also deserve a lot of blame because this show feels so rushed now.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It used to take them 3 episodes to get somewhere.
In a good way, though, right?
In a good way. Yeah. One of the best things about that show. Now, they've sacrificed some story for spectacle.
I've heard people are zip-zapping around.
Within one episode,
yeah,
a journey that would have taken an entire season takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I understand you want to get this to the end, but it's almost like fast travel RPG.
Yeah.
But
in Joe's defense, though, it sounded like he was talking about, or at least from what you just said, that he was talking more about the story, which has nothing to do with the camera work.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, say George R.R. Martin says, okay, in this scene, here's where we want to be by the end of the scene. It's a win for this character, and A, B, and C is gonna happen as a result.
I probably have to.
Them setting up that spectacle.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong. Okay.
And as somebody who doesn't watch the show, and I know you're trying to be vague
as
for me,
possible,
right?
And the listeners too.
Yeah.
Like George R.R. Martin didn't sit there and be like, okay, I'm gonna have this explosion here.
Right. Yeah.
I want you to pan this camera here because this, and it was not just me saying this. A lot of people said that. This particular scene, and when you get to this, whenever you will, and you will one day, you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
Was very highly praised.
Okay.
And then that's just what I meant. I know that this isn't Wise and Benioff doing the world building here.
Right.
This is George R.R. Martin's world.
Yeah.
Speaking of TV shows that are so popular right now, Stranger Things has been confirmed for season 3 by the Duffer Brothers, and it will go 4 seasons with the same characters and actors. Andrew, Abby
So
and
it's been confirmed for 3, but they're saying it's going to go to 4?
Yes,
Okay.
confirmed for 3. They're saying it's going to end after 4.
Okay.
Abby and I are going back and watching Stranger Things.
Yeah.
She's never seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have a friend that hasn't seen it. I'm trying to talk her into it.
When I watched this show the first time, absolutely adored it.
Oh.
Now that I know the ending, I don't like it as much.
Really?
It's still a good show.
Maybe I don't want to go back and watch it then.
Boy, but man, seeing it again, like some of these episodes, especially, we're getting later on in the season now.
Yeah.
But like the first 3.
Yeah. Some of the mystery's gone.
Boring. Yeah, that mystery is what drove the show for me.
Sure.
And once you kind of know, the means to the end.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, I mean, it's good. It's
Sure.
well done. It's an epic period piece.
Yeah.
But she's like sitting there. She's really into it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there with my computer.
Boring.
Yeah, I feel like a complete jerk.
Yeah, you are.
But I don't know. I think we're excited. We're gonna watch season 2. We're gonna watch season 3 and 4.
Yeah.
This is probably the second most talked about show in America right now, besides Game of Thrones, I would say. Even more. Like, this is, as far as the hype meter, this is past Walking Dead.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of hype meter, let's get into the hype for the movies of Fall and Winter 2017 as AKA Andrew Stokes and I count down from 10 to 1 our most anticipated films for the remainder of the year. Okay, Andrew, we're going to start with my number 10. This is directed by the Sperry Brothers, comes out October 27th.
I did not write release dates down for
That's
any
fine,
of mine.
that's fine. It is Jigsaw. In the 8th installment in the Saw franchise, picking up over a decade after the death of the infamous Jigsaw killer, during the investigation of a new succession of murders that fit his M.O. Alright. Huge Saw fan.
Okay.
Love this franchise. I've talked about that on the podcast. I talked about it on Hokey Halloween Horror. Love the first 2. The third one was a drop off. After that, they got really crappy. I'm just interested to see where this is going to go. And if nothing else, nostalgia.
Yeah.
For one of my favorite horror franchises of all time, just because it was my generation's horror movie. That and one of your favorite movies, Paranormal Activity 1 and 2. Those were kind of the horror movies that defined our generation. It was either that torture film or that found footage horror type film that became subgenres of that horror genre. So this could be very bad.
Could be.
I know that, and it probably will be bad.
Yeah.
I'm excited that like the other Saw movies is coming out right around Halloween, and this is just probably going to be a boom or bust pick. It's going to be really good, or it's going to be trash. But I'm going to say this lightly. I don't know if Lionsgate would have brought it back if they didn't have an okay script. Like, why bring it back? I'm interested to see how Tobin Bell, who plays Jigsaw, is going to fit into all this, considering what happened to him at the end of the other Saw films.
He was shot into space, right?
Yeah, he was, and it caused an eclipse that
that summoned the Decepticons to Earth
throughout the multiverse. But yeah, is this on your list?
This is not on my list.
I didn't think so. So
not a big.
We discussed this.
Yeah.
If I say a movie or Andrew says a movie that's not on the list, his or my respective list, we're just gonna go ahead and comment on it.
How many? I'm thinking.
This is the 8th Saw movie.
I'm thinking. There's like maybe 3 to 4 movies maybe that I have on my list that you probably don't have on yours.
My list is gonna surprise you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your list is gonna surprise me.
Okay.
Are you gonna go see this?
Probably not.
Okay, that's understandable.
Like, there's some movies it's like, I'll probably go see. This is one I probably, I'd rather go see another movie. I didn't write down when some of these come out. Some of these I know are in September, some in December, some November.
I can recall it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Sure, I'm just saying. So there's not a lot coming out in October, but maybe I'll still be making up for September or something because
September's kind of packed.
It is, and this didn't even really. Jigsaw didn't even make my honorable mentions. Like, it really wasn't really in the running.
Mention that we'll do honorable mentions at the end of our top 10 list. And as we go through these, I'm going to point out, like, yeah, I'm going to see this, but we're not going to be reviewing it on the podcast. If it's something we're going to review on the podcast, I will definitely bring that up. And some of these are very iffy.
There's one that did not
them.
make my top 10 list that I imagine we will review.
I think that's going to be the same for myself as
okay.
well.
Interesting. I feel like we both have knocked this off our list.
All right, Andrew Stokes. Well, this is a competitive list.
It's
hard.
surprisingly competitive.
Yeah. All right, Andrew Stokes, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is Murder on the Orient Express, which I gotta say I was more excited for a couple weeks ago or so, but I was watching.
Stars your favorite actor, Josh Gad.
I know he's in. I think he's in something else too that's coming out. There was I'm trying to remember what I was watching. It was Dunkirk, and there was a commercial, a trailer for Murder on the Orient Express, and my friend who I was listening to leaned over to me and said, "Isn't that the story where blank?"
It is a remake of a classic film.
Sure. Well, it's
From
also
the
based
70s,
on
I
think it's also based on a book or something as well.
Okay.
But I don't know the story of this. I recognize the name only.
It's basically Clue on a train.
Kind of, but they basically
They ruined it for you.
They told me the result.
Well, maybe
they were like,
change it since this is.
And that's what I'm hoping for. But like after they were like, isn't this a story where blank? I'm like, oh. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
And so that episode of Master of None where the cab driver gets that movie spoiled.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So this almost completely knocked it off the list for me, honestly, because there's also not a lot of footage shown for this. You know what I mean? Like there's just,
which is good, I think, considering
it's definitely
a mystery
good
movie.
Right. It's definitely a good thing, but and man, what a great cast though. I mean, there's like a lot of like, you know, Academy Award or nominated.
I think that comes out in November, early November.
November, right? Yeah. So, but it still made my list. It just squeaked in there. Number 10, Murder on the Orient Express.
Not on my list, but it was on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
I want to go see it.
Yeah.
I would even consider reviewing it, depending on how busy we are at the time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really want to see it. I don't have to see it.
Right.
But really looking forward to it. My number 9 is The Greatest Showman, directed by Michael Gracie. Comes out Christmas Day. This is the story of P.T. Barnum, founder of the circus that obviously became the world-famous Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus.
Yeah.
It's going to star Hugh Jackman as P.T. Barnum and Zac Efron in this film. And the release date with Hugh Jackman, with the type of story this is going to be, I imagine this is going to be one that is definitely going to be in play for a Best Picture nod. May not. Maybe trying too hard. We haven't seen a trailer. Have not seen really much.
You haven't seen the trailer?
I have not. Is there a trailer
for
absolutely. Greatest Showman?
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
Yeah.
Dang, I guess I should have watched that before I made it.
It looked good. About who?
P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, who's I'm not sure I considered that mainstream. I don't remember who was what studio is doing it.
I don't have the studio. It seems like it was Warner's.
Okay, maybe it wasn't. Just it's also, if I'm not mistaken, it's also a musical, which kind of knocks it down for me. I'm just not a big fan of musicals.
Well, Hugh Jackman was one of the better parts of Les Mis,
which I haven't seen. So.
I saw that movie.
Right.
I actually really liked it.
It's
not
supposed
a
to be good
person either. But I'm hoping, combined with the fact that I really like Hugh Jackman, I really like Zac Efron, I'm interested in the story. It's not going to be thrown together. It's going to be very high production musically, and Hugh Jackman's an incredible singer as well as actor. It's one that we probably wouldn't review here, but one I would like to see as we head toward that award season at the beginning of next year. Yeah,
it was one, like, obviously I checked out the trailer. It obviously I took note of it, but after watching the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, this does look cool. Like, I mean, last year, I say I'm not into musicals. I went and saw La La Land, which was fine. It was good. I saw Beauty and the Beast, which is a musical, and I love that movie. So I'm not, definitely not opposed to it. Looks good. I like Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman as well. So
now, how much of a musical is it? Like La La Land?
No idea.
Okay, no idea.
In fact,
Les Mis was seen the whole time. There wasn't any.
No, I mean I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Wasn't like they broke out into song most of the time. And Russell Crowe cannot sing. I respected the fact that they didn't dub over him or anything, but God, that man can't sing.
Okay.
So that's my number 9. Greatest Showman comes out Christmas Day. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is Mother, with Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem,
Ed Harris, Michelle Pfeiffer,
and written and directed by Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah.
So there's a teaser for this, and there's a full trailer out. And I know you and I were avoiding the full trailer. Have you still not seen the full
I actually have watched it.
Me too. I did not do it on purpose. It played in front of Logan Lucky.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, I'm not going to, hide my eyes at this. After watching the trailer, my
expectation
hype kind of went downhill. Honestly, not that it was bad. It was just like the trailer felt like a longer teaser trailer, where it's like I'm still not sure what's going on. But I watched the trailer again, one to show a coworker, once to do this list, and I'm like, okay, I like it. Darren Aronofsky, I like Black Swan. I like Jennifer Lawrence. I'm a fan of. So this squeaked back onto my list. I was really thinking it wasn't gonna. I thought it was gonna be an honorable mention, but it did squeak back on at number 9 for me. Let's go. The trailer looks
15th.
What?
Comes out September 15th.
Yeah, it comes out pretty soon. And as I was mentioning, like in the trailer, it says film not yet rated. So I don't know if it's rated by now as of the recording of this. I haven't checked, but I mean, it looks very stylish, but I'm excited. It looks weird, maybe creepy.
It's gonna be like a horror / thriller / I don't know what the hell this is gonna be, mystery type movie. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be one of those movies as we find out what's going on with the Jennifer Lawrence character and
what's going on in the house. So.
I think it's gonna make the movie worth it. This is higher on my list, so this did make my list. Okay. Let's get to number 8. My number 8 is Happy Death Day, directed by Chris Landon. Comes out Friday, October 13th. Okay. This is the story of a girl who has a Groundhog's Day in which on her birthday it repeats every day.
She wakes up to 50 Cents. It's your birthday in the club.
In the club, which is one of my favorite songs.
It is a good song.
But that's her alarm clock. And this trailer...
It's like a ringtone.
Her ringtone?
Because it's like her dad's calling her or whatever. That's right. I just watched a trailer yesterday.
So she's a sorority girl. Yeah. She wakes up in this dorm room, had a one-night stand. It's the whole day of her birthday. She gets killed at the end of every day, and she's trying to, each day she wakes up as time progresses, or doesn't progress, but as she relives this day, continuously trying to solve her own murder. Yeah. Or prevent her own murder. Yeah. And the trailer is really good for this movie.
It's a stupid sounding premise. It's a stupid sounding name, but that trailer is good.
Yeah, if you would describe this movie to me, I would have rolled my eyes and moved on with my life. Right. But having seen the trailer twice in theaters, once with Annabelle Creation, I don't know what the other one was. Yeah. People react to this trailer, man.
Really? Okay.
I think since it's Halloween and it's Friday the 13th, and it will have been out for a while. Mm-hmm. If Mother ends up being a horror movie, that will have been out for a while. Right. I think this has and it's before Jigsaw. I think this has a pretty decent chance of maybe surprising financially, unless it's just utter trash. Yeah,
which is possible.
It's possible. This is another one of those boom bust movies, probably. Okay. Happy Death Day.
My number 8. I imagine this is not on your list. Pitch Perfect 3.
It's not, just because I haven't seen the other two. So
I expect number 2 kind of to me felt like a typical kind of comedy sequel. Wasn't as good. There was kind of some, just kind of a little bit more of the same. I'm hoping in Pitch Perfect 3, I don't imagine it's gonna. I really like Pitch Perfect. It didn't seem like my type of movie. I watched it randomly one day, and it was really enjoyable. It was a lot funnier than I expected it to be. I expected it to be more, this teen romance, taking music super seriously, but it was a lot more tongue in cheek. This one, I still don't think it's gonna reach where Pitch Perfect 1 was, but this looks like they're doing something a little different. It looks funny. So I'm excited to see it. I actually thought maybe this was going to wind up higher on my list, but there's a lot of good stuff coming out.
The trailer was Spider-Man Homecoming. You were really excited about it.
And I still am. I think maybe it's I don't know. There's just a lot of good things coming out.
If
you know
anything
what I mean?
else, it makes me at least want to finally watch the first one, which I didn't.
Oh, you haven't seen the first one?
No, and it was
Oh,
a huge
man.
movie this summer. It came out, that song Cups.
I have it on
and all that
Blu-ray,
stuff.
so yeah.
I need to borrow that from you. and
Again,
watch
yeah,
it.
it's not. It looks like one thing, and it's really not. It's almost a parody of what it looks like. It's really good. It's enjoyable.
So Pitch Perfect 3 is your
number
8.
Yep.
My number 7 is Current War, directed by Alfonso Rion.
Okay.
Comes out December 22nd. This is the dramatic story of the cutthroat race between Thomas Edison, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, and George Westinghouse, played by Michael Shannon, to determine whose electrical system would power the modern world. It also stars Tom Holland. This comes out December 22nd. It is one of those movies that could very much be like, I can't remember the name of the movie. It came out 2 or 3 years ago. It was about Benedict Cumberbatch breaking the Enigma code, which was Hitler's communication code during World War II. Then the name of that film's escaping me. It got nominated for Best Picture. Mm-hmm. But this sounds like a very interesting premise to capture on film. Mm-hmm. The cast, I don't know how big of a role Tom Holland's going to play in this, but Michael Shannon is one of the most intense actors in Hollywood. Benedict Cumberbatch is just one of the best actors in Hollywood, period, even though I didn't love him as Doctor Strange. Finally did watch that, by the
did
way.
you? Okay.
Yeah, we watched it on Netflix about 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It's one of my least favorite MCU movies.
People really liked it. The ending's cool, but...
He wasn't terrible, but I mean, he wasn't like...
It's just a tip. It really felt like, oh, okay, this is a Marvel origin film. Like, it didn't really feel like it broke the mold, really, except for maybe the ending.
See, with this list is kind of odd because summer lists are more what you expect. This, we're getting a lot of not only, like, award contending movies, maybe that's going to pop up on our list. Yeah. But a lot of those also tend to be historical dramas. And being a fan of history like I am, like, I love Lincoln. I show that to my kids. I get it's boring as hell. Because it's not about Lincoln's life, right? Yeah. It's about Lincoln trying to get the 13th Amendment passed to abolish slavery. I appreciate that for what it is. I understand how that's not everybody's cup of tea. I understand that that's how some of these movies are going to be that's going to pop up on my list, and even some of my honorable mentions. Yeah. But I think... I'm not familiar with Alfonso Rihanna. I don't know what else he's directed, but just based on this cast alone and Michael Shannon being in it, I'm excited for this. I will see this.
Is there a trailer for this?
I don't think there's a trailer out yet.
If there's not a trailer, it didn't make my list. A little spoiler alert there.
All right. So that's my number 7, Current War, out December 22nd. What's your number 7, Andrew?
My number 7 is Happy Death Day.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this movie. It looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be at least entertaining. Like it's like this. It's a horror film, I guess technically a thriller, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be super scary. It's just gonna be fun and entertaining. You're gonna see this, sorority girl and the geeky dorm guy she accidentally hooked up with, solving her own murder and stuff. And it's just it's a goofy premise, but the movie doesn't look goofy. You know what I mean? It looks like it's just going to be like a How I, or I Know What You Did Last Summer type, you know what I mean? Maybe not slasher like that, you know what I mean? But just that same kind of tone and feel where there's some scary elements, but then there's some like, college kid stuff going on.
I mean, it's kind of harkening back to those 80s type horror movies where you had Sorority Row or Sleepaway Camp or... but I don't think it's going to be as quite cheesy as some of those. No, I don't. And it's a movie that's taking itself, at least from a production value standpoint, seriously. Yeah. But the premise, come on. I mean, it's not going to be thought-provoking or anything. It's going to be a lot of fun. If it's coming out in October, something you're going to want to see. Maybe if this came out in April, you skip this one. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
I almost hope they don't explain why she's trapped in this time loop. Like, I hope it's just something that happens and it's, like, never explained.
Only time will tell, my friend.
Oh, Lord.
All right. To 6. My number 6 has already been on your list. It's Mother, September 15th. I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see the mystery unfold in front of our eyes as Jennifer Lawrence finds out what's going on. I imagine she's going to be like the audience surrogate for this movie.
Right.
The cast is phenomenal. Director's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this on the podcast a lot. I don't think I really need to say much about it.
Did you break down and see the trailer? You just
I
decided?
did, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I saw the second
I know you saw
trailer.
it. I just okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just finally just watched it, and I'm glad I did because again, it was basically another glorified teaser.
It really, it's like just as confusing. Like, maybe there's like a slight plot going on.
Now,
but,
every
like,
once in a while, you have these movies where you're like, how could this fail with this cast and this director? I don't think that would be the case here. That can happen, though.
Yeah.
So that's my...
No, I don't. I mean, that's not how I feel. I definitely feel like this could fail. I definitely look at this and like this could be like really out of the box, like too weird, too, it could be too lofty, I guess. You know what I mean? Like they could be trying to go for something that's just not communicated well. But I really enjoyed Black Swan, and that didn't feel that way.
Too.
So
what's your number 6, Andrew?
My number 6 is Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
This did not make my list.
And I imagine
my honorable mentions.
Really, you're not even your honorable mentions.
No.
It just looks like a. When does it come out? December. I think.
Put it on my list as I was making it. And quickly crossed it off.
Sure. I mean, it just. I don't know, man. It looks funny. It looks like. I don't know. This is the type of movie you can bring anybody to go see, and you're gonna get.
For me, I'm just kidding.
Sure. Well, no, I think you're gonna. I think you would go and you would laugh at this movie. You can sit there and act all upset because it's not Robin Williams all you want or whatever. But I mean, I imagine. I don't know. It looks like it's gonna be a funny movie. I might not be talking about it come March of next year. You know what I mean? If it comes out in December. But
I want to say that this movie has done.
All right.
It's made the Jumanji Blu-ray of the original release impossible to find.
You have it?
I don't have it.
So you should have invested.
It's out of like production right now.
Okay.
I imagine they'll re-release it when this movie comes out
with $5 off a ticket for the new movie or something.
I will buy that, and that will be my excuse to go see this movie. But it's like $50. Like the normal version is like $40-$50 on eBay. Then there's like this collector's version.
It comes with the board game.
No, it don't. But the box is like the board game box.
Okay.
It has some knickknacks in there. It's like $100, dude.
Jeez.
Yeah, Jumanji did not make my list.
Okay.
We've talked about Jumanji a lot on this podcast as well.
Yeah.
We're to the top 5, Andrew.
Top 5.
My number 5 is Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
Directed by Taika Waititi. That's my best pronunciation of that.
Spot on. His mom could say
better. I
better.
Heard it pronounced on that way on other podcasts. They could be mispronouncing it too.
Okay.
This is out November 3rd. Here's why this is so high and probably could have been higher. It's not the Thor stuff. Nothing against Chris Hemsworth Thor. It's not even that this feels like the Guardians kind of just outside the box. It's not Tom Hiddleston Loki. It's not even Jeff Goldblum. It's that we have this subplot of Planet Hulk, or this is the closest we're going to get to Planet Hulk. And I love the Warrior Hulk in the comics and all that stuff.
Okay.
And I cannot wait to see that played out on film. So this is a Marvel movie that's only going to be 90 minutes long. I don't expect it to leave us with the same type of dilemmas that Civil War left us with. But I expect to go to this and have a hell of a lot of fun seeing Thor and Hulk fight each other and fight a lot of other stuff.
Superhero movies have a very good track record in 2017. So
far, so good for the most part. Yeah, I don't think anything's let us down yet, but Justice League hadn't came out yet. But again, there's not many expectations for that. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Blade Runner 2049.
All right.
I have not seen the original Blade Runner. Maybe this could have been higher if I had. Maybe this could have been lower. I don't know. But we got Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling.
You need to watch the original before this.
I may watch it tomorrow. I have a friend that wanted to watch it tomorrow.
Do you have
it? No, he has it though.
Okay,
good. So I mean, but it looks good. You know what I mean? The trailer, it has like this, it has this cool tone and aesthetic to it. I'm expecting good things from it.
I got more to say about this later on.
I have a feeling you do. That's my number 5, Blade Runner 2049.
All right, we're on number 4.
Number 4.
Hard to believe. The Papers, directed by Steven Spielberg, out December 22nd. This is the story of the famous Pentagon Papers. It stars Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a Best Picture nominee slam dunk if I've ever seen one. This is about the Washington Post uncovering this story about the Pentagon Papers that basically were papers that related to lies and cover-ups that administrations involved in the Vietnam War were telling the press.
Right.
A lot of people get confused with the Pentagon. Like when I teach my kids this in U.S. history, they see Pentagon Papers, they see Washington Post, and they think Watergate.
Yeah.
It's just not what this is about. So I think this will be even though it does involve Nixon, I think this will be a educational film for a lot of people. It will be, I'm sure it will be slow. I'm sure it will be methodical. I don't think it will be meandering. I'm really looking forward to this. Like, I will definitely see this in the theater. And now that I'm kind of closer to some bigger theaters now, I'm hoping that it won't be as hard as it used to with our hometown theater.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, with King's Speech, we'd have to wait a little bit on these. So,
yeah,
I'll definitely seek this one out.
I think this is another one. There's not a trailer yet for it.
Not a trailer yet.
Yeah.
Did you at least, this isn't on your list, I'm assuming.
No.
Did you at least look into it or consider it?
As far as trying to find a trailer, like,
Okay.
like you know,
What
things.
more do you need? Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, Steven
I need to see it.
Historical narrative.
I need to see. Well, also,
Are you afraid it's going to be a musical or something?
Again, though, I did like my summer list. I tried to go more mainstream this year. Like, there are movies I thought were very interesting that I'm like, no way am I going to get a chance to see this until it comes out on, like, VOD or Blu-ray.
I think you'll get to see the papers.
Maybe.
Shelby got Saving Mr. Banks.
Maybe. But again, if there's no trailer, it's off my list, like, immediately.
I mean, that's understandable.
There's one movie I'm very much anticipating, not even an honorable mention, because there's no trailer for it yet.
What was it?
Well, we'll get to it.
Okay.
We're on 4?
4, yes.
My number 4 is Thor, Ragnarok. So
just one spot higher than I had it.
Right. Yeah. Same like you said. I'm excited.
Taika Waititi.
Same as you said, except for the opposite. Planet Hulk stuff. Don't care. It's everything. I mean, I'm excited to see the Hulk.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I mean, I haven't read the Planet Hulk storyline or World. Yeah.
You need to read Planet Hulk, then World War Hulk.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. So I'm excited to see the Hulk again. It has his Guardians aesthetic, like you said. Jeff Goldblum's in it.
I mean,
you have Loki returning. Sure. No, I understand. Of course, you gotta be excited for the bloom.
I can't wait to see him in Jurassic World too as well. God, that's gonna be cool to see Ian Malcolm.
But it just looks, like I said, 2017, good track record this year, including Marvel specifically, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Guardians Volume 2. So this looks like it could continue that and really close out what Marvel's doing this year very well. So I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah. My number 3 is Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
Now, this is surprising in some ways because the original Blade Runner is not like one of my all-time favorite films. It's a film that was groundbreaking in 1982. Mm-hmm. It's one of Harrison Ford's best performances, which is saying a lot. You could argue it's maybe his best performance. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not a movie that I've revisited a lot. I've probably seen it. I bought it.
You only own like 3 different copies.
Yeah, I
of
own
it,
3
right?
different copies. But I've watched it 2 or 3 times. And it's not one of my all-time favorite science fiction movies. But the questions that it evokes, the way it's shot, the aesthetic of the film are very groundbreaking and set a lot of trends for that type of movie. And this is Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve, I think, is maybe my second favorite director right now behind Nolan. That's a lot there.
Yeah.
I mean, Arrival, Prisoners, Sicario, which I watched. We talked about that. I watched that not too long ago. I mean, I think he's 3 for 3 on epic films. The only problem here I worry about with Blade Runner 2049.
Don't say it.
No, I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say.
Okay.
The replicant stuff.
No.
What do you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say Ryan Gosling.
No.
Okay.
Oh, Ryan Gosling is a freaking fantastic actor.
Yeah, I like Ryan. I like him too.
I'm the only person. I'm even excited to see Dave Bautista in this movie. I'm worried about Jared Leto chewing scenery too much.
Okay.
But that's not what I was going to say.
Oh.
So, when this movie first was rumored and went into production, I read a thing about. I quit reading it because it was getting too in depth in Empire Film Magazine, which is a problem I have with the magazine sometimes. Is I don't want to read too in depth on a movie that comes out in October.
Yeah.
But Ridley Scott, so he produced this.
Okay.
And initially he was gonna be pretty hands-on and be like on set.
Yeah.
Then he got he didn't get the gig. He went forward with Alien Covenant. The Neil Blomkamp Alien movie, the bottom fell out of it.
Yeah.
And so they went forward with Covenant. Fox did.
Good call.
And I don't know if it was. Canceled that pre-order on Amazon my own. Abby didn't even have to do that. Evan despises that movie.
Really? Not quite up to the level of Prometheus there, huh?
Man, I like Prometheus
You
better. Do. But there are parts... Alien Covenant's more so bad it's funny in parts. I will give it that. It's more entertaining film than Prometheus.
Maybe I need to check this one out then.
I think you would like it a lot better. Okay. That's not saying much.
Sure.
But,
sure.
So I think you're going to have this camp of fans who are like, oh, they never should have made a sequel to Blade Runner. This isn't Ridley Scott. Because Denis Villeneuve is one of the few filmmakers who definitely has established his own brand and tone, his own aesthetic. And I think it's going to feel like a Denis Villeneuve Blade Runner film and not a Ridley Scott Blade Runner film.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Considering Alien Covenant especially. But, man, I'm so excited to see Harrison Ford and Gosling on the screen together.
Yeah.
Interacting. And I don't want the question of whether Descartes is a replicant or not answered.
I know. They said they're going to, though, right?
That's the rumor.
Okay.
I don't think it's not been confirmed, but here's why. It's not necessarily the answer that will bother me. It's that's all people will be talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be at least I hope that's not going to be the purpose here.
Yeah.
But man, this was one I'm really excited for. Like, I'm going to see it. I'm hoping we're going to review it on the podcast.
We have,
so that's my number 3.
I'm trying to, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Blade Runner, all these Harrison Ford properties that are kind of, coming back and whatnot. Indiana Jones, I know it's been a while.
Indiana Jones came back.
What's
coming back again? That's
what's another Harrison Ford?
Air Force One. I don't know. The Fugitive.
The Witness for me. Is that what it's called?
Oh, you're saying if I would rather see one come back?
Yeah, a new one. I'm joking about it. Isn't that the Witness, the Amish one?
I don't know. I haven't seen the Witness.
Oh, really? Oh, it was pretty good.
I would like to see him in another like Fugitive type movie. Him and Tommy Lee Jones coming back, dude.
I haven't seen The Fugitive.
You never seen The Fugitive?
No.
You gotta watch The Fugitive. Then you got
I'll see Blade Runner first.
You know whose favorite movie The Fugitive was, or it was in his top 5? Larry Greer from Radio Shack. And he got me to watch The Fugitive. Then he's like, watch U.S. Marshals. So U.S. Marshals is the sequel that spins out of the character of Tommy Lee Jones is the U.S. Marshal in The Fugitive. I think he was nominated or won Best Supporting Actor for that role. And then he comes back in U.S. Marshals starring, Wesley Snipes is in it. And peeled up Robert Downey Jr.
So it was kind of like their version of Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, it's way better than that.
Take one of the characters, do a kind of sequel.
I watched that movie a bunch in college. I don't know why I did, but U.S. Marshals is no. It's not as good as The Fugitive, but Fugitive is probably an epic. U.S. Marshals is like a great. So it's not a big drop off. So anyway, Blade Runner is my number 3. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is a movie called Stronger, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Man, I don't even know if I saw it.
Okay. This is based on the true story of one of the survivors of the Boston Marathon bombings.
I did see this.
Okay. I don't know. I don't normally go for these kind of like heartwarming type, movies or whatever. There's another one on my list that just it'll be an honorable mention, but I don't know. These movies always come out, like, to me, a lot of the times very cheesy and hokey and stuff.
Like that one with Mark Wahlberg, Patriots Day. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
Making a grand assumption.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what I mean. Something more like the Andrew Garfield one that's coming out.
What is that?
Where he's like becomes paralyzed and he invents like the chair or something, like not the wheelchair, but like he attaches a breathing machine to his wheelchair and stuff. I don't know. I don't even know if that's based on a true story or not.
I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything.
No,
that does not sound good.
No, it looks super cheesy. It looks see, Hacksaw Ridge looks super cheesy, but that's supposed to be very good. So
I got that on my DVR. Still haven't watched it.
Everybody I've talked to really liked it.
They say it's the best war movie since Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
And Dunkirk's the best war movie since Hacksaw Ridge, I guess, if that's the case. I hadn't seen Hacksaw, though.
Yeah, everybody I've seen it seemed to like it, but everybody I know that saw King Arthur really liked that. So, but obviously
I think, dude,
they're the type of people.
Hacksaw Ridge got nominated for Best Picture, though.
I know. I'm just the people that went and saw King Arthur are the type of people who would go and see King Arthur. So
Mel Gibson got a Best Director nod. Post-racial slurs. So it must have been a really good movie. Not that excused what he did, but it must have been a really good movie.
Right. But you get my point, though. And Stronger looks like it's going to be a little bit more than that. It doesn't look super, like, hokey or anything. Looks really good. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. You said you saw the trailer? You didn't?
I didn't. But I recalled seeing the synopsis.
Oh, you should watch the trailer. I think you may change your mind on it.
I thought it was the sequel to Pain and Gain, the Michael Bay film.
I would love that. I love Pain.
I know.
Jake Gyllenhaal's not in that.
Oh, I know.
Oh, just Stronger. Okay.
You know, I think that Jake Gyllenhaal was he was either the first or second to be in Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, rumored to be like the lead or something?
Yeah, and then either he passed or had a conflict because he worked with Denis Villeneuve on Prisoners. And so he passed or had a conflict, and they brought Gosling in, or maybe Gyllenhaal is their second choice. I mean, those actors are about on the same par.
Oh yeah, I really like them. So
yeah, so Stronger is your number 3.
Number 3, yeah.
We're in the top 2.
Oh yeah, top 2. Let's see what variations we have.
Number 2 is It.
Okay.
By Andre Machete. Comes out September 7th. This is going to be the kid story. Those of you who hadn't read the book, I'm listening to it on tape now.
Listening to it on tape?
On Audible. The Audible the app. You get one free book.
Sure. And so yours was It.
And this is not sponsored
You're like,
by Audible.
what's the longest book I could get?
44 hours.
Wow.
Is the reading. I'm like 2 hours into it.
Oh, so you actually started listening to it. Okay.
I did, yeah. I started listening to it. Like, on my rides to work, I listen to podcasts. And then on my way back from work, I've been listening to it. Because I went back to work this week. So I'm going to try to keep it. I don't want to listen to it before work because I tried that one day and it was really depressing.
Yeah, especially like somebody had a random red balloon that one day at work. It was really creepy.
The book flashes back between the kid timeline and when they come back 27 years later.
Right, it was more like the miniseries, right?
What?
It was more like the miniseries, okay.
Where this is going to be set up as a 2-movie arc, supposedly. We'll see if Andre Machete returns, in which one's the kids, then later on will be the adults. Cookie is really excited for it. Yes. You know who else is really excited for this film is my wife, Abby. This is her number 1 most anticipated movie of the year. She's obsessed with this book. She's like, it's a 1,100-page book. She's 400-something pages in.
She started dressing up like a clown recently?
No, she's watched this. So there was a scene, I mentioned it.
Yeah.
They played before Annabelle Creation.
Yeah.
The whole Georgie scene that starts off the book as well. She's watched that scene like 10 times. Like, I've never seen, besides Wonder Woman, I've never seen her this excited for a movie that I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
This book, dude, is really good. Because I got like 150 pages in The Misery, and I was miserable. So it's like, I don't know if I like Stephen King. Abby read Salem's Lot, loved it. So she started reading it, and Andrew, you have to read this book.
Okay.
I mean, I'm serious.
Sure.
Like, this isn't like me telling you go read Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
Like, it is one of, especially you're a reader.
I've been known to read things on occasion.
Did you start that Planet of the Apes book?
No.
Okay, it is like
I should
a quintessential.
Surpass that book.
You know
put that
how
book
when
on the
you
back
saw
burner.
the trailer, you're like, this feels like Stranger Things a little
Literally
bit.
peed myself.
Really?
No. No, of course not.
I can see, the book evokes that feeling.
Interesting. Okay.
Even though, so in the book, the flashbacks are in the 50s and the presents in the 80s.
Yeah.
Where I think the flashbacks are in the 80s and the presents, I guess, will be now.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that.
Sure.
Don't quote me on that, but Pennywise is terrifying in the book.
Okay.
I've seen the Tim Curry thing when I was in high school, and it doesn't age as well. It's a lot scarier when you're younger. I'm not saying it's not. There are scary parts.
Yeah.
But this book's freaking terrifying. This movie looks terrifying. If there wasn't a certain movie coming out this December, this probably would have been number one for me.
Okay.
All right, so that's my number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is It.
All right.
And also,
I kind of had a feeling it'd make your list. I didn't know it'd be this high.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And we'll get into the difference between 1 and 2 here in a bit. But It yeah, I didn't know that. I know there's the kid scenes and the adult scenes. I thought maybe they were just reworking it and just doing kids. I don't remember the story at all. I haven't seen this, like, the miniseries since I was a kid. Don't really know the story other than very few things. So I thought maybe they'd reworked it somehow, and it was just the kid scenes. I didn't realize. I almost wonder if they should call this, like, It Part 1. You know what I mean, or something.
I think because. And it's a rich book. It's such a big book.
Yeah.
But having that perspective of the adults, and when you experience the kids stuff, knowing the long-lasting impact on their life that's going to have.
Yeah.
It gives the movie, here's a word I hadn't said in a while, in the book, a lot more stakes.
Okay.
And I think this is a proper time to use that.
Yeah.
But continue. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, because of that, though, it'll be interesting to see, obviously, how the movie does rework it. So you're invested in just what's going on with the kids, and then later on invested with just what's going on with the adults. I feel like this is going to be a big movie. I really do.
I think it's going to be the movie of the fall, especially going through all of September.
Yeah.
Probably have very long legs going through October. I think it's going to make a lot of people think this will be the highest grossing. Biggest opening R-rated movie of all time. They think it'll surpass Deadpool.
Okay, maybe.
It's crazy to me. Deadpool came out in February, and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So your number 2's It.
Yeah.
Before we get to my number 1, let's take a quick break.
In the haunted foothills of North Carolina, get ready for your confirmed epic hokey Halloween merchandise from tpublic.com. You can find all the preceding horrifying merchandise at tpublic.com/user/TheRealBradBell, DREEL Brad Bell. The first tee you see is the hokey Halloween Horror 2017 Jack-O-Lantern t-shirt. Kind of a plain t-shirt for those of you who don't want blood splattered all over your shirt, just to show off your love for the confirmed epic podcast, Halloween, Fall, and Hokey Halloween Horror 2017. Next up is our confirmed epic podcast, Clown Tee. We know that clowns are going to be a big part of Halloween 2017 with certain film releases coming out this year, so we wanted to show our appreciation to great writers and upcoming confirmed epic films by giving you a new twist on the horror clown subgenre, which is a dead clown, the way that most of you would like to see him. So, go ahead and pick up your confirmed epic podcast, Dead Clown X-Ray Tee. As many of you know, we kick off the confirmed epic podcast Hokey Halloween Horror season with Anthology August. This year's Tales of Halloween and Stephen King and George Romero's Creepshow. Show your appreciation for the first month of the Halloween season at theepicreview.com, thepicreview.com, by checking out and buying your Anthology August t-shirt now. Inspiration for this tee was a certain group of 3 witches who some of you are very familiar with from the 1990s, as well as everybody's favorite Book of the Dead. So open your checkbook now and buy this tee today. Starting last year, Slasher September was one of the most popular months in the history of the Confirmed Epic podcast and thepicreview.com. This year, we continue that tradition. To show off your love for your favorite slashers, pick up your Slasher September tee today and show your love for the Confirmed Epic podcast on Unknown Slasher. Remember, any of this Confirmed Epic horrifying merchandise can be found at tpublic.com/user/TheRealBradBell, DREEL Brad Bell. And the sooner you act, the better. For a limited time only, you can pick up any of these shirts for only $14. You have 3 days to do so. Let the games begin. Happy Halloween.
AK Andrew Stokes, time for our number one most anticipated film of fall and winter 2017. No surprise, kind of anticlimactic here with me, is Star Wars The Last Jedi. I like Force Awakens. I get the criticisms. It's too much like A New Hope.
Yeah.
Well, the prequels weren't enough like A New Hope. They weren't enough like the original trilogy. This was too much like it. Rian Johnson, who is a very different type of director with the brothers Bloom, Brick, Looper. He's not J.J. Abrams. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
perfect fit.
Yeah,
especially with Star Trek and Super 8 and stuff like that. I think this is going to be a very different Star Wars movie. I'm going to be disappointed if it's rehash of Empire, the way that TFA was kind of a rehash of A New Hope. I'm willing to give you a one-time pass. To one, for nostalgia. 2, it was a pretty good movie. 3, to kind of reset everything back in that classic Star Wars lore. I want to know what happened with Kylo Ren. And what was his fall? What was the cause of it? And I want to know, what role did Snoke play? Who is Snoke? This is just as much about the mystery as it is me being excited because I love this universe so much.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a very different story from Empire.
I think so too.
Yeah, hopefully it retains some of that same feel. So let's go ahead and say my number one is also Star Wars: The Last Jedi. No huge surprise there, I don't think. I imagine tonally it may be slightly different, but it's still going to be very similar in that aspect. But yeah, hopefully, the first one's a rehash of A New Hope. You know, we've said it, everybody's said it. But this definitely looks like, okay, they're going to go and be able to break away and do their own thing and really explore these new characters. Finally, get to see, what's up with Luke and that kind of stuff.
It's just so much of the unknown. And Force Awakens, that was more so. But now I realize I like these new characters. I like Kylo Ren. I like Finn. I like Rey. I hope we're going to see a more Captain Phasma. I hope she's going to have, Gwendolyn Christie's going to have a lot more to do. The most interesting thing that may come out of this film is the end of the dark side and the light side. Maybe a true balance, and that may not even be a chosen one. Who knows? But that's my number one. That's your number one.
I did break tradition a little bit here. The one in the most obvious way is if a movie doesn't make my list, if there's no trailer for me to watch. There is a trailer for this, a little teaser trailer, and I chose not to watch it, and this still, I still put this at number one. Also, I broke tradition a little bit because typically when I make these lists, I'm like, okay, what am I feeling right now? What am I super anticipated for right now? And I'm probably more anticipated and hyped for it right now.
Me too.
But that also comes out in like a week and a half.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? And so I know, like, I've been pretty hyped for Last Jedi for most of the year. And by the time it's getting really close to The Last Jedi, I'm going to be more hyped for that movie then than I am for it now. Even though I'm very excited for it. It really was. I really considered flipping the two, honestly. Like, I'm really excited for it. So
the fact that thought crossed my mind as well says something. That's how excited I am for it. If Star Wars is not, say Star Wars, this is the exact same film slate. And Star Wars is coming out this May. 2018. it would have been number 1.
Yeah.
And maybe Justice League would have snuck on. I think that's the big one here. That's the big takeaway. The number 1's not a surprise.
No, I was wondering whether you would flip the 2. I knew you were excited for it. I assumed it would be it and then Star Wars for you.
I love Star Wars. So much.
I know. I was really like, man, he said his list would surprise me.
I thought my surprise was Justice League not being on here.
Yeah, so there's 2 movies I think that are notable that weren't on either of our lists, and I think we both predicted the one other than Justice League, which was Kingsman number 11, and I really wanted
that would have been my 11.
Yeah, like it just really just squeaked out. I think there's something with the trailers that they don't get me super hyped. And there's something, I just feel like this movie is going to be too long. Like, I don't know what it is about it.
Have you seen a runtime?
I haven't, no.
Me either.
There's just something looking at the film that I'm like, there's going to be a point where this is, either there's going to have to be a great action scene or this is going to go on too long. And, I mean, there's really nothing in the first one that should make me doubt this necessarily.
That first one was one of the biggest surprises of that year.
I was not interested in the first one at all, and then that's a good example of it. It was getting so much buzz. I'm like, okay, I got to see what this movie's about. So much positive buzz, and I was very surprised. And I really like it. And I have a friend that this is probably her number 1 film.
Yeah.
Like she loves this series. So
if Abby was making this list, this would be her number 2. She loves the first one. When it's on HBO, she'll stop and watch it.
Yeah, I need to watch it again.
I like it a lot. Like I probably would give that movie a great and a half.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point, it is just kind of dumb fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's much substance there. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely not.
But
I put Jumanji on my list.
Yeah,
So.
and kind of in that same vein. But that was a surprise. But even though I think that that's going to be a much better movie than Justice League,
Yeah.
the fact that you or I...
Yeah.
Now, I think if Jerry was here, Justice League would have been on this list.
Yeah.
The fact that you or I don't have Justice League,
it's not even in our top 10.
On our top 10, and it wouldn't even have been 11. We said that would have been Kingsman, both of us probably. What are you doing, Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
I mean, like, we talked about it earlier in this podcast. This podcast kind of comes full circle here.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I looked at the trailer and I'm like, obviously I'm going to go see this movie.
Yeah, we're going to review it, I'm sure.
And there are parts that look interesting to me. Don't get me wrong. Like, there are parts like, oh, this is cool. I like Wonder Woman, who features a lot in the trailer. I like Ben Affleck as Batman.
I like the fact, and this is no disrespect to Snyder and his family situation, I like the fact that Joss Whedon did reshoots and apparently made this film a little more lighter.
Hopefully, we'll see. I mean, hopefully,
that may be too jarring of a shit.
Well, I say, hopefully, yeah, it streams well. It flows well.
I'm really worried this is going to be a giant turd.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even an honorable mention for me.
Really?
Like, yeah, like it's just
an honorable mention to me.
It's noteworthy. There's another noteworthy movie I have that's not an honorable mention.
Which is?
Well, this is not on either of our lists, and it's surprising, especially I think for me. But like, really, this movie just doesn't look bad. It just does not get me excited at all. And that's Disney Pixar's Coco.
That was one of my honorable mentions.
But see, to me, it's like, I just not excited. Like, the very first teaser, the very short teaser, I'm like, cool. Day of the Dead. Especially like the little dog, I forget what the dog's name is, Dante maybe, because that dog is a little cholo dog, a little I forget what their full name is, a Mexican hairless, and you know, we have one in my family, love this little dog, Jen.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so, you know, and there's something about that's just exciting, like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a feature film, a Pixar film, but like for some reason, like this may be the first Pixar film that I'm just not excited for it at all. Like, it doesn't. I'm not interested in discovering this world. I'm not. You know, I don't know what it is about it. It's just.
Again, it's an honorable mention for me. I don't know if I'll go see it. I still hadn't seen Inside Out, which I know is supposed to be great.
Yeah, and there's a few I haven't seen. I haven't seen Good Dinosaur.
I haven't seen Brave or Good Dinosaur.
I haven't seen Brave. Brave's good. I was interested in seeing Good Dinosaur. I know people weren't so hot on that movie. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Monsters University. and I haven't seen.
Oh, that's good.
I haven't seen Ratatouille.
Oh, Ratatouille is really
that's
good.
one of those ones that people say, oh, I also haven't seen Finding Dory, I guess, either.
It's really good, too.
See? And Ratatouille is one, especially people like, it's like
That's
some
up
people's
there in
favorites.
the upper echelon of,
Yeah. Just haven't seen it yet.
am kind of excited for this because the whole Day of the Dead thing, the emotion that will be tied to, which every Pixar movie is emotional.
Yeah.
But
I like Day
I
of the
feel
Dead
like it's
stuff,
a good
yeah.
fit for
Yeah.
Pixar.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why this isn't doing it for me so far, but I'm sure, especially if my nephew wants to go see it, it would probably be one I may check out in theaters. But as of right now, just not doing it for me for whatever reason.
All right, so real quick, let's
Okay.
go through some honorable mentions here.
Okay.
I'll start
All right.
since I won the rock paper scissors contest
To start this off, okay.
Yeah, honorable mentions. So, Coco, you've already mentioned. Justice League, those were honorable mentions. Bad Moms Christmas. Really liked the first Bad Moms.
Okay.
Called it on Redbox. Didn't really look forward to it at all. Could be a cash grab. Probably will be a cash
Yeah,
grab.
it looks that way. I haven't seen the first one.
Oh, you need to watch it.
I've heard good things, but this one just doesn't. Yeah, it just looks kind of, I don't want to say cringy, but yeah.
LBJ, Woody Harrelson playing
I mean-
Lyndon B. Johnson. That was up there for me. I'm looking forward to
Woody
that.
Harrelson's in a few things coming out.
That being said, there's been a bunch of portrayals of Lyndon B. Johnson recently in film. Tom Wilkinson played him in Selma. That was a really good portrayal of Lyndon B. Johnson. The guy that played, help me out with his name, Andrew, played Sabretooth in Wolverine Origins. He played Cotton Weary in Scream. Oh, what is his name?
Tyler Rain? No, he played Sabretooth in the first X-Men film.
Sabretooth in Wolverine Origins. He's in a lot of stuff. He's a really popular character.
He's on that. He has that one show right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that guy's name?
I can't remember his freaking
But
name.
yeah, leave Shriver.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you. So he was him in The Butler, really good there. We just had the HBO miniseries, which I only saw bits and pieces of, but by all accounts, Bryan Cranston was really good there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
this is just like an overflow of Lyndon B. Johnson stuff. Darkest Hour. This was debated to be in my list with Gary Oldman playing Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
As the Nazis are closing in on England.
Yeah, see, some of these movies, like, these look good and interesting, and I want to check these out too, but again, I worry about them coming to a local theater, and that's why, like, some of these didn't even make honorable mentions, even though these look good. Yeah, I'm not sure I'll get a chance to see it without super going out of my way. And there's a lot of movies that I would have to go out of my way to see this year that look good, and
that's one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no way I'm going to be able to see all of them.
And that looks like that's an awards type contender movie. Disaster Artist James Franco. It's about the director of the movie. Is it The Room? Which is one of Jerry's all-time favorite bad movies.
I totally missed this
some
one.
of the other James Franco crew in there that we like. December 1st.
Okay.
I think that one will be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Let's see. Bastards, which is a Ed Helms, Owen Wilson comedy, coming out December 22nd.
Missed that one too.
These are two brothers that find out their dad's still alive and go on a cross-country comedy road trip to find him. So I'm looking forward to that. Probably a Redbox one for me. It has to be something special or actors that are like this was Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. I'm going.
Yeah.
But it has to be something like that to get me in the theater for a comedy these days.
Yeah.
And last, my honorable mention was Phantom Thread. This is Paul Thomas Anderson's newest movie. It's Daniel Day-Lewis's last movie. It's supposedly it's about the fashion industry.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes. It will be nominated for Best Picture.
There's another.
It.
Like I said, Woody Harrelson's in a lot of stuff this fall. It looks like there's one that's kind of like this indie movie. Which again, so it didn't make my honorable mentions necessarily, but was 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, I think it's called. Have you seen the trailer for this?
No.
Check out the trailer. I think that might be something that would interest you. Some of my honorable mentions, again, going a little more mainstream here. This one was I wonder if this is would be mainstream or not. It's called Wonder. It's about this kid who's going into public school. I'm not sure exactly what grade he is. He was, I guess, born with a lot of birth defects and had to have a lot of surgeries.
Who's in it? Know?
Owen Wilson, Julia Roberts. They play like the parents.
That's good.
Yeah. I forget. There's a few other people, but it's another one of these heartwarming stories, and that's one of the reasons it didn't make my top 10. But I mean, this kid, he had to have all these operations, and I don't think it's based on a true story. I don't recall, but to be able to see and breathe properly and stuff. So he has like this pretty scarred up face and stuff, and it's about him interacting, with these kids, and obviously they're making fun of him, they're bullying him, but then some kids are nice to him, and I don't know. There's just something that looks good about this, even though it looks kind of a little cheesy and stuff. This movie definitely, I'm honestly surprised this movie didn't make my top 10, because I'm like stupidly excited for this movie, even though I'm not expecting anything great, but it's just up my alley. That's Geostorm.
I thought that this would make your list like at 10 or something.
Me too.
You love disaster movies.
I love disasters.
It looks terrible.
It looks like a good disaster movie.
That is fun though.
Yeah, and it has what's his face in it. Gerard Butler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
God, I always get those two mixed up.
Gerard Butler, and I like Gerard. I liked his
White House Down.
Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah.
Of course, that looked a little more serious. But I like him in these type of movies. This one is a disaster film. I'm hoping the disaster scenes are cool and fun to watch. So even though it's not even in my top 10, I'm hopefully going to be able to see this on the big screen. Another one, Lego Ninjago movie.
This would be on Jerry's list.
I don't know. I wonder if it would be. I don't know Ninjago at all. It's a Lego original property. But I mean, Lego movie's good. Lego Batman movie was good.
They haven't had a big miss or anything.
Well, there's only been the two. And this one looks good. Like, there's a trailer out, and it's funny. It has a Taylor Swift song in there, so it appeals to me on many levels. But it looks good. I hope my nephew wants to see this, so I have an excuse to kind of go see this movie. It's definitely one I want to see. Two more real quick. American Made with Tom Cruise. I think
that was almost an honorable mention.
I think it looks good, but it could be bad at the same time. Like, it's really on the cusp there. It almost looks like a Wolf of Wall Street, but not as nuanced, a little more Tom Cruise frantic. So, but it looks like it could be entertaining. And the last one, Daddy's Home 2, which, have you seen the first one of these?
No, but I hear this is one of those that it's not a great movie, but if you like Will Ferrell, if you like Mark Wahlberg, it's entertaining.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people crap on the first one. I watched it just one evening. It was on Netflix or Amazon. I was just in the mood for a comedy. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun.
Kinda Funny loves it.
Oh, do
Greg
they?
Miller and
I
Nick
could have sworn I heard them
Starkey,
crapping on it recently.
It. No, they love it.
I heard some podcast I listened to.
Nick loves it.
I think it's funny. Like, it's not the funniest movie in the world,
got
but
Mel Gibson in it, which makes me want to go.
Well, Daddy's Home 2, yeah.
Yeah.
2 looks like it looks like it's gonna be not just the same thing over again. Which I am interested. There's something that happens at the end of the first one, which it doesn't look like it's carrying over into this, but I really wish it would, at least in a little sense. I don't want to give it away, but it doesn't look like it is, unfortunately. But this doesn't look like it's going to be just the first one over again. It's like, okay, this is a pretty different plot. Like, you know what I mean? You have, like, these two different dads, and the Mark Wahlberg character is obviously changed since the first one, and he's trying, and he's worried about how his dad's going to do. But, yeah, I just love when Mel Gibson's coming down the escalator, and Will Ferrell's like, he dresses so cool, yet I can't imagine him ever shopping. And it's just like, and then of course John Lithgow coming down, and it's just, it looks fun.
I think I could watch the second one and not see the first one.
Probably you should watch the first one though. I mean, the first one's stupid, and yet Will Ferrell riding a motorcycle through the house, and it's got some stupid stuff, but it was funny.
I'm hit or miss on Will Ferrell. I like Step Brothers. We were making that a top 25 list.
Mm-hmm.
It almost made my top 25.
Okay, spoilers.
I love Step Brothers. Abby, of course, had Anchorman in there.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm hit or miss. I don't like Will Ferrell as much as you guys, but
I like him and Mark Wahlberg very much. So
both of our number ones, Star Wars.
Yep.
Both of our number twos, It.
Yeah.
The rest of it varies.
I think I was correct. I think I said I had 3 or 4 on my list that I didn't think you would have on yours, which I think was correct. Stronger, Jumanji, Pitch Perfect 3, and Murder on the Orient Express. Did you have that on yours?
Didn't.
Okay, so
that's I meant to say Murder on the Orient Express is an honorable mention for you.
So I had 4 on my list that you didn't have on mine. You have.
I'm guessing the ones on my list that surprised you were Greatest Showman and The Current War.
And there were 2 other ones.
Papers, did that surprise you?
Yeah. Again, It's something on my list that doesn't have a trailer, so
yeah.
I also didn't think they would make it on yours either. And again, I wonder how much wide release these movies are also going to get. So one that didn't make mine, didn't make yours, we haven't even mentioned it, and again, there's no trailer, is God Particle or Cloverfield 3.
That's not out until February or March.
Oh, they pushed it back. Okay.
Yeah, obviously that would have
been
list,
okay, never mind.
We both love Cloverfield.
I forgot they pushed it back. But I mean, it obviously didn't make mine. I forgot they pushed it back because there's no trailer. I don't know anything about this film, really. So it didn't make my list, and that's why. But I forgot they pushed it back. So
this year has been an epic year as a whole for film. I think it's just going to stay on par or maybe even get better as we head toward the end of 2017. It kind of all culminates in Star Wars. But
it doesn't really slow down much. February.
With Black Panther.
Black Panther. Is that when God Particle comes? I feel like there's 2 in February.
No, they pushed it back to March.
Ready Player One's in March.
God Particle comes out the same. Right now, this could change, but I think it's scheduled for the same weekend as Ready Player One.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah, which I want to see both those movies.
Right, there's something else that comes out in February. I can't remember what though. But I mean, man, I think January may be our only lull this year.
And that is the time that at least I used to try to catch up on those awards.
Right, exactly. So hopefully we get a chance to.
I just want to go ahead and say we're going to do a top 10 favorite movies of the year, and I want to release that either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. So there's going to be movies from 2017 that's on this list that we may not have seen, but we're just going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, we'll go with what we've seen.
Yeah.
Are you saying we should wait till New Year's Eve, get drunk, and do that podcast? That sounds incredible. Oh man.
All right, so Andrew Stokes, next week, here's your options. Not much, but Ghost in a Shell.
Yep.
Or King Arthur. Legend of the Sword.
I don't know. I feel like I'm feeling Ghost in the Shell more.
All right, we'll go with Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
Then. Okay, so that's what we'll be reviewing next week, and then the week after that should be it.
Okay.
Remember, you can find us on Instagram at Confirmed Epic Podcast.
The movie It, like not the end of the podcast. It's not it.
Yeah, exactly. The movie It. Insta at Confirmed Epic Podcast. Man, I posted an It post. It got 130 likes on there.
On Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that Instagram's doing pretty well. Stardust, find us there at Confirmed Epic. Get our shirts at tpublic.com/therealbradbell/user. Facebook, you can add me at Real Brad. You can like the page, Confirmed Epic Podcast.
Yep.
Twitter, find me at The Real Brad Bell, DREEL Brad Bell. Check out actionfigurebarbecue.com. Check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com. Of course, always find the podcast at the Epic Review, epicreview.com. What about you, Andrew?
Follow me on Twitter at AKA Andrew Stokes, where I'll just retweet Brad's tweets. And I write occasional articles on the epicreview.com. epicreview.com.
And from the Hollywood foothills of North Carolina, we are out.
That's all I have to say about that.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!
You try to wrap it up, Brad?
Yeah. I want to try to get this.
No, I understand. Yeah, it's a little bit.